Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, we are going to give your earned value management system a much needed health check. You know, you can have all the reports and all the data in the world, but if you can't actually trust it, well, you're pretty much flying blind. So let's dive into how you can guarantee the integrity of your system.
So imagine this. You're getting your EVM reports. The charts are all pointing up and to the right. Things look great. But here's the real question. Are you willing to bet your project's success on that data? Because making those critical, high-stakes decisions with a flawed system, that's like trying to navigate a storm with a compass that's off by 20 degrees. It's just not going to end well.
And that's the danger, right? A system that hasn't been validated doesn't just mislead you, it gives you this really dangerous false sense of security. So in this explainer, we're going to move past that. We're going to build real confidence, moving beyond just having EVM data to truly, deeply trusting it. So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why a system health check is so incredibly important. Then, we're going to break down the 3 essential types of reviews you need to know about. After that, we'll do a deep dive into the big one, the Integrated Baseline Review, or IBR. And finally, we'll cover what happens after the review is done, because that's where the real work begins. Okay, let's get right into it. A systems review isn't just some bureaucratic box-checking exercise. No way. It is the professional, disciplined process for validating the integrity of your performance measurement baseline, what we call the PMB. Now think of the PMB as the approved master plan for your entire project. This review makes absolutely sure that foundation is rock solid. Think of this whole thing as like a 360-degree audit of your project's plan. It's checking everything. The what? Does your baseline actually cover the entire scope of work? The when? Is your schedule even remotely realistic? And of course, the who and the how. Do you have the right people and resources? And are your management processes actually working in the real world? It's about ensuring both compliance and good old-fashioned common sense. Now, it's really important to understand that not all reviews are created equal. There are 3 distinct types, and each one is specifically designed for a different purpose at a different stage of your project. Using the right tool at the right time is absolutely key to maintaining a healthy and trustworthy EVM system. First up, we have the Integrated Baseline Review, the IBR. This is the big one. It's conducted right after your baseline is set, right at the beginning. It is a formal, deep dive to make sure the plan is realistic, achievable, and that everybody, both the project team and the client, shares the exact same understanding of the risks from day one. Okay, next up, once your project is humming along, let's say 6 months or more after that IBR, it's time for a demonstration review. Now, this isn't about the initial plan anymore. This is all about the live system in action. It checks if your team is actually following the established processes and using the system correctly to manage the project. And finally, there's surveillance. The best way to think about this is like a routine checkup with your doctor. These are ongoing, periodic reviews just to make sure the system stays healthy and on track. They're especially important after, say, a major change to the baseline, or if a lot of time has passed since your last review. It's all about making sure standards haven't slipped. This table, honestly, it lays it out perfectly. The IBR is your pre-flight check, all focused on the initial plan before you take off. The demonstration review happens mid-flight, checking if the live system is operating the way it's supposed to. And surveillance? That's your ongoing maintenance, making sure you stay on course for the whole journey. Each one has a very specific and very important job to do. All right, let's put the most comprehensive and, frankly, the most important review, the IBR, under the microscope. We are going to walk through its anatomy step by step so you know exactly what to expect and how to prepare. The whole IBR process might sound intimidating, but you can really break it down into 3 simple, logical stages. First, you've got the preparation phase, which is critical. Then there's the execution of the review itself. And finally, and this is so important, the follow-up. I'm telling you, a successful IBR is won or lost in the prep phase. Before anyone even sets foot in a room, you have to agree on objectives, assemble your review team, and get all the key documents into their hands way ahead of time. And here's a pro tip for you. Run practice interviews with your control account managers, or CAMs. These are the folks who own specific parts of the project scope. Getting them ready is probably the single most important thing you can do. And this brings us to a core principle of any good review, the show me technique. See, it's not enough for a manager to just tell you they're managing risk. You need to be able to say, that's great, now show me. Open up your risk log, pull up the schedule, walk me through the data. This simple technique replaces talk with actual proof. So during the review itself, the team really digs in. They'll do things like data traces, which is where they follow a single requirement from the top-level contract all the way down to a detailed work package, making sure nothing got lost in translation. They'll interview those CAMs to really understand the technical, schedule, and cost risks, and they'll be documenting everything as they go. What they're looking for is any disconnect between the plan and reality. So what kind of documents do you actually need to have ready? Just think of them as your project's core blueprints. You'll need your scope documents, like the statement of work, your organization charts, showing who's responsible for what, the schedule and the budget, those are obvious must-haves, and critically, your risk logs and any performance reports you have so far. Having these organized and ready to go is absolutely non-negotiable for a smooth IBR. Okay, so the review is done. Everyone high-fives and goes home, right? Not even close. The real, lasting value of an IBR comes from what happens after all the meetings end. It's all about turning those findings into meaningful action. And let's be crystal clear on this. The point here is not just to find problems for the sake of it. Anybody can do that. The goal is to create a formal, actionable corrective action plan. Every single finding, whether it's big or small, has to be tied to a concrete solution with a clear owner and a firm deadline. This follow-up stage is really where the magic happens. A final report documents everything. You agree on resolution dates for every concern. You put that formal corrective action plan into motion. And then you rigorously track every single one of those actions until they are fully 100% closed out. This is the process that ensures the review leads to real tangible improvements. And all of this brings us to one final critical question you should ask yourself. Are you just using EVM, or are you truly mastering it? Committing to robust, thorough systems reviews is what separates the teams that are just going through the motions from the ones that are building their projects on an unbreakable foundation of trust. Thanks for tuning in.